Hi there, it's March 25th and time for Proverbs 25. Now these, like it says in verse 1, these two are Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied. And many of them we've heard, and we haven't, but they copied them down from Solomon. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, and the glory of kings to investigate a matter. We don't have king. Let's see what it says over here. God doth not reveal the cause of his judgments to men. Because the king ruleth by the revealed word of God, the cause of his doings must appear, and therefore he must be diligent in trying out of causes. Right. So God hides stuff from the king is supposed to find it out. Right? Hey, we've heard this before. Remove impurities from silver, and a vessel will be produced for a silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's presence, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Right? Get all the bad people out, right? It's like when you melt metal, all the impurities float to the top and can be easily removed, and you have pure silver, pure gold, right? 6, don't brag about yourself before the king, and don't stand in the place of the great. For it is better for him to say to you, come up here, than to demote you in plain view of a noble or of the crowds, all right? That's always a good one, right? Don't brag about yourself, right? You're at a banquet, don't run up front and sit in one of the front tables, right? Some usher's going to come and say, I'm sorry, your seat's back there. This seat's somebody else. And they'll watch the usher march you all the way to the back, and how embarrassing that is. Better to sit in the back and have an usher come and say, oh, your seat, we have a seat for you up front, and march you up to the front in front of everybody, right? Humbleness. This doesn't apply in church, okay? Don't sit in the back in church. Sit in the front in church. 8, don't take a matter to court hastily. Otherwise, what will you do afterward if your opponent humiliates you? And a lot of people are suit happy, aren't they? Make your case with your opponent without revealing another secret. Otherwise, the one who hears will disgrace you, and you will never live it down. Right? These people that sue other people frivolently and they get on the news, embarrassed forever, right? 11. The word spoken at the right time is like gold apples on a silver tray. Something here. Apples of gold in settings of silver. So I like it when somebody says something at just the right time. A wise correction to a receptive ear is like a gold ring or an ornament of gold. When people are listening, it's easier to talk to them, huh? No notes for that one. 13, to those who send him, a trustworthy messenger is like the coolness of snow on a harvest day. He refreshes the life of his masters. Trustworthy messengers, somebody you can trust and count on. Right? Now we have social media and telephones and text and mail. They didn't have any of that back then, so they relied on messengers. If you get an evil messenger, could make a real mess of things, right? Or a lazy one's even worse. All right, I'll tell them tomorrow. 14, the man who boasts about a gift that does not exist is like clouds and wind without rain. The man who boasts about a gift that does not exist. False liberality. You like that. 1599, the word liberal meant to be generous. It didn't mean what it does today. Gift that does not exist. People do that, right? 15, a ruler can be persuaded through patience, and a gentle tongue can break a boon. Words are the most powerful things on earth. They can break bones. They can heal nations. If you find honey, eat only what you need. Otherwise, you will get sick and from it and vomit. Right? Sufficient for thee. Use moderately the pleasures of this world. That's a good one. All right. Use moderately the pleasures of this world. There you go. Don't hoard stuff, right? It's just what you need. That's the best prayer. Give me just what I need. Okay, 17. Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house. Otherwise, he'll get sick of you and hate you, right? They call that wearing out your welcome. You ever have one of those neighbors that's just constantly bugging you, right? Trying to be friendly, and you get tired of them, right? 18. A man giving false testimony against his neighbor is like a club, a sword, or a sharp arrow. Liars, false testimony, lots of that around, right? Anonymous sources, they call them. No, anonymous source. When they're not anonymous source, there's no sources. They're just making up lies to try and hurt somebody, right? Like a club, a sword, or a sharp arrow, shooting indiscriminately. 19. Trusting an unreliable person in a difficult time is like a rotten tooth or a faltering foot. Right. Unreliable people. We all know people like that, huh? People you can't count on. 20. Singing songs to a troubled heart is like taking off clothing on a cold day or like pouring a vinegar on soda. Well, that's important. Okay, that's important. What's that note say? Sodium bicarbonate. If somebody's troubled heart and they're grieving, clowning around is not going to make them feel better. Allergy season down here in Georgia. Right. Anyways. Melteth it and consumeth it. Oh. Right. Sometimes you just want to sit and listen and just be there, right? 21. If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you, right? Jesus quoted this proverb. Okay, he did. Love your enemies. 23. The north wind produces rain, and a backbiting tongue, angry looks. Backbiting, that's gossip, okay? That's gossip. Slandering tongue. No matter what, it'll get you in trouble if you spread gossip. 24. Better to live on the corner of a roof than to share a house with a nagging wife. More of Solomon's marital problems, right? That was his undoing, right? It's all you can do to keep one person, part of you, nurtured and secure and taken care of. I can imagine 700. And he had 300 concubines. So he had 1,000 women, right? You couldn't even devote a whole day to any one of them. I mean, no wonder they were always unhappy. Good news from a distant land is like cold water to a parched throat. We could all use some good news from a distant land now, huh? Man, I tell you. Wars and rumors of wars, right? Jesus talked about that. You think we're in the birth pains of the end times? I think so. 26. A righteous person who yields to the wicked is like a muddied spring or a polluted well. Don't give up. Never give up. Looking for notes over here. It is not good to eat too much honey or to seek glory after glory. Glory after glory. Seek their glory, glory. So to search out their own glory is not glory. Right? If you're looking for your own glory, that's not glory. Okay? That's pride. That's arrogance. That's conceit. 28, a man who does not control his temper is like a city whose wall is broken down. Always vulnerable to get punched by somebody, right? So there you go. That's Proverbs 25. Those are King Hezekiah's men. And this will go on for like 4 chapters. So we get to Agar's in 30, which is my favorite. We can go over the highlights here. Highlight it. Don't brag about yourself before the king, and don't stand in the place of the great, for it is better for him to say to you, come up here, than to demote you in plain view of a noble or the crowd. Right? Everybody sees you sitting up front, and then some usher comes up and marches you to the back. I'm sorry, this seat is reserved for somebody else. That's embarrassing. Or you could be sitting in the back, right? And then an usher comes, we have a space for you up front. And then they march you up to the front. Everybody watches that. Which would you rather have? It's important. This is all about being humble, right? And these are highlighted. A word spoken at the right time is like apples of gold apples on a silver tray. And a wise correction to a receptive ear is like a gold ring or an ornament of gold. Right? A wise correction, if somebody that's very wise and older and trying to tell you something that he has probably learned from his own experiences, it is good to be receptive to that, right? Right? That's like, that's precious, okay? A gold ring or a gold ornament, especially if it is spoken at the right time. And sometimes the Spirit will move you, will tell you, go tell this person this. And you're like, I hardly know that person. I don't want to do what I say. And some people, look, the Lord is asking me to tell you XYZ. Okay? And it could be spoken at just the right time. Okay? So, right. 15 is important. A gentle tongue can break a bone. We know that, don't we? Bone's coming apart. A gentle tongue can break a bone. Okay? Words. Most times it's best not to say anything. Okay? Just be quiet, not to say anything. Okay? If you find honey, eat only what you need, otherwise you'll get sick and vomit it out. Right? And what's it say down here? It's not good to eat too much honey or to seek glory after glory. Right? Just what you need. It's what you pray for. God, give me just enough. Right? 17, seldom set foot in your neighbor's house, otherwise he'll get sick of you and hate you. Right? Gentle wave. Right? If they need something, they'll ask you. Right? You don't want to be over there bothering them all the time. 19. Trusting an unreliable person in a difficult time is like a rotten tooth or a faltering foot. Right? You want friends you can rely on, right? And you know people you can't count on. Right? They say they'll be there and then they don't show up. Pretty soon you stop asking them, right? 20. Singing songs to a troubled heart is like taking off clothing on a cold day or like pouring vinegar on soda, which nullifies it. Okay. If somebody's got a troubled heart, you don't want to be clowning and singing, trying to get them to laugh. Okay. It makes matters worse. Okay. It does. And 26 is highlighted. A righteous person who yields to the wicked is like a muddied spring or a polluted well. Right. Good people should never yield to wicked people. Okay. They should never give up. To never give up. Mhm. So that's what we highlighted. There you go. That's Proverbs 25. Stay tuned later today. We are in Luke chapter 2, reading the Christmas story, what they call it, Christ's birth. And we're like day 84, I think. So stay tuned for that. Give us a like if you think about it. But tomorrow we'll continue. See you then.